As of this recording, Diablo 4 has come out for about over 3 weeks, and I've been having a really good time with the game. It's been fun, it's been challenging at some points, and it's definitely fun playing with other people. Been playing a lot with Danny, and there's a lot of divisive opinions about the game when it comes to it being an online, always service game. And that's something that I want to talk about today. Back then, I understand that a lot of games, when the internet was really picking up for, being in the household, games were using an always online connectivity thing in order to keep away cheaters and a lot of piracy. There was rampant piracy going on a lot in the late '90s, early 2000s. There was Pirate Bay, there was Napster with the music stuff, there was LimeWire, there was a lot out there. And I get that a lot of it is still out there, not as much as an extreme, as it was back then. But this online stuff is actually starting to be a huge hindrance now for communities, for gamers. And so one of the things that people argue about with Diablo 4 is just the fact that people want to be able to still play with their friends, but they want to be able to play offline. And the reason for that is because Diablo 4, even though they had a fairly smooth release time, with really rare moments where it was hard to connect into servers. Like I got connected into servers actually fairly easily. So I didn't have to wait in line for like 30 minutes, got in really quick. I rarely dropped out of a connection and I got to play pretty decently and beat the campaign pretty quickly. But there are people who have more problems. And especially especially for the people who are playing with hardcore characters. And for those who don't know, if you're playing a hardcore character, you're playing without dying. And if you die, you lose your character. So it's completely deleted and you have to start all over. And there have been tons of reports of people getting to levels 80s, 90s, 100 and losing the character due to a disconnection issue. And that is the problem that a lot of people are having right now is when is it valid for you to have an always online game and really have it justified? And the reason why I say justified also is because I've been looking around and it seems like Blizzard has not really given a straight answer. Unless someone else knows something, you could leave me in the comments or anything like that or send me an email. All I've seen is that they want to be able to give the online experience for everybody, whatever it may be for. Maybe it's microtransactions for the shop, but they've never truly said what the always online service was for. Whether it be for cheating, whether it be for piracy issues, whatever it may be, they haven't really said. And that's another thing that's kind of iffy about the company is that they're being super quiet about it, at least to me. And I'm wondering, why can't they just tell us what the reason is? Why can't they just give us an offline mode so that way people can just enjoy playing with their friends, whether they're cheating or not? If you're trying to avoid cheating, then you should be able to play offline just with your friends. And obviously, if your friends are cheating, then don't mess with them. Don't talk to them. Don't play with them. But if you're playing online with someone and they're cheating, then you have to worry about them going through all the processes. Blizzard has, put the ban hammer on 100,000 people, whoever it is that's cheating. When it comes to the piracy issue, that's a whole other story that I honestly can't really give too much opinion about. All I understand is that, if it's a piracy issue, they should just go outright and say it to the community. I remember when they were coming out with a new Sim City game, and a lot of people were excited for Sim City. The Sims was a big franchise for a long time, and before the Sims, there was Sim City and simulation type games like Roller Coaster Tycoon, and so when they started bringing back SimCity, that was also an always online game. For what reason, I don't know, because it's pretty much a single player game. And there's a lot of backlash on it. And from what I believe, they did eventually make it offline, but the game was so broken at that time that a lot of sales and a lot of players just started dropping off of that game. And they said that an always online SimCity game was mostly for piracy issues, which that again is understandable. So at least they talked about it. At least they spoke with the community about it. But I kind of feel like for Blizzard and Diablo, it's just for money. I think it's just for the money. I truly do. I think it's just so they can track people, they could track habits, they could track you know, log in play times, what they collected, what they killed, trends, things like that. So that way they can build more in their shop and in their microtransactions. And of course, future DLCs and season passes, because now we got season passes and battle passes to deal with in this game. So that's another reason why you want it online. You want to be able to track all those things. You want to be able to sell more stuff to the players. That's also understandable as a business. But again, it just comes down to just tell us about it. And I think I feel like most people would understand, because for those people who don't agree with microtransactions, for DLC, for season passes and battle passes and such, they'll usually tend not to buy this stuff. They'll speak with their wallets and just not get it. They'll probably just enjoy the base game and they'll probably move on to something else, which is still fine. You know, Blizzard still gets your money for the base game, and then they can move on to whoever else that's willing to buy all the microtransactions and such. Those people who are buying those microtransactions, buying the season passes and battle passes, and still complaining about the always online service, I say to you, speak with your wallet. Don't buy this stuff. And maybe Blizzard will get the idea somehow. There's this issue right now with Overwatch 2 and their story content they were supposed to have. And I've been seeing a trend of speaking with their wallets and their computers or their systems, their consoles, and uninstalling the game because they're fed up with these practices and what they had promised and they never delivered. And I think this is something that should be done with Blizzard as well. This is something that should be done with Diablo. If you really don't agree with what they're doing, then don't play the game, uninstall the game, don't buy any microtransactions, any of their products, anything they're offering, and maybe something will change. And if not, then at the very least, you can move on to something that's a better game, a bigger, better game out there for you that hopefully a company can communicate with you better and tell you truly what their product is. So my own opinion as a gamer playing this game is the disconnection sucks. There have been a couple times where I have been disconnected in the middle of a dungeon, and unfortunately I had to go back to the dungeon and redo the dungeon again, and even a couple times during the campaign. So whenever you get disconnected in the middle of a mission in the actual campaign, sometimes nothing saves and you have to end up starting from the beginning of whatever story that you're doing at the time, whatever chapter that you're doing. And that sucks as well. I get frustrated plenty over it. Unfortunately, although this sucks, I don't let it get to me too much. I think what bothers me the most is when I'm playing with my friends and I get disconnected. And that's kind of like expected in any game. It'll happen with any online game. It'll happen with Overwatch. It'll happen with Destiny. It'll happen with Diablo. It'll happen with any online game. You get disconnected from something and then you kind of just have to hope for the best to get back on and just jump back on and play with your friend again. So I'm going to continue still playing the game. It is frustrating. I wouldn't complain to the point where like I need an offline mode. I don't mind the microtransactions and the season passes and all this stuff. And there's actually this whole debate going on of how they're handling the seasons, each season for Diablo. And that's a whole other thing to get into. But I don't mind any of it. Because in the end, I can speak with my wallet. I haven't bought any microtransactions for the game. I've just been enjoying the game. It's just been me and Danny and a couple of my coworkers, and we've been having fun. And that's that. It's just going to happen every now and then. So that's my opinion. I kind of just brush it off. It's frustrating at the moment, but then I move on and I just continue trying to play the game. And hopefully things get better. I really, truly do. And hopefully things get better for the players as well as Blizzard. And that's pretty much it. That's my rant about what's going on right now with Diablo 4 and Blizzard. I hope things do work out. And If you disagree with my opinion, I'm perfectly fine with that. I would like to know what your opinion is on it. So feel free to send me comments and DMs on Twitter. I also have an email as well. You can check out at the show description. And you can also go to the website, gamerguardians.net. You'll get all the links on there for social media as well as past episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed this one as well. And I'll see you in the next one.